Hello everyone, this is my first YouTube video, so apologies if the audio is weird. I don't have a great mic. I'm just using what I have. Maybe one day I'll get some better equipment if I decide that I want to make a lot of videos. But for my first video, I thought I would make a tour of my save file, the current version that is available for download on Sims File Share and via my Tumblr. It's version 2. For version 2, you get Willow Creek, Oasis Springs, Magnolia Promenade, and San Myshuno. So let's look at my most recent posted version of it on my Tumblr, and we'll get into it. Okay, so here is my Tumblr post. This will be linked down below for you in the description box. As a reminder, you do get Willow Creek, although Willow Creek is not listed in this post here because that was version 1. So for this post, it really kind of dives more into the lots and families that you get in the 3 other worlds that I did, which are Magnolia Promenade, Oasis Springs, and then San Myshuno. It lists all of the community lots and the names of them, the types. It will list the families / households, and then like any original households, I just told you how many there are. I only mentioned either ones that were already there, so like the land grabs and the calientes and stuff, and then listed recurring or returning households like the Curious family, the Roths, the Brooks, the Newbies, those types of households. And then down here you'll see your download here link, and if you click on that, it will take you to the File Share page where you can download it. I will also link a post for you that gives you more detailed instructions on how to download save files and use them, like how to install them into your game. I'm not an expert on modding or anything of that nature, so I will just provide you with a post of someone else who explains it for you. So yeah, that's how you can get to the actual save file and download it. I am working on version 3, so hopefully in the next month or so I will have that completed and you'll be able to download the most recent version of my save file. So now let's get into the tour. Okay, so once you have successfully downloaded the save file, you should see it in your game. It'll be titled the Altogether Now 2.0. This is what I used to call the save file. It's now just going to be called Ruby's Forever save file. I'm just retitling it because I never really liked this name, Altogether Now. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. But for version 2.0, that's what it's called. So when you download it, you'll find it by this. Here is Willow Creek. As you can tell, every lot is filled in. I don't really like leaving empty lots in my save file. I want the world to feel fully fleshed out and like it makes sense. So I think leaving empty lots kind of defeats that purpose. There are houses for you to move your own Sims into, and they're different price points. They're different styles, so if you want a more fancy Victorian house, you can move into this one over here, or if you just want kind of a regular neighborhood, you can move into this one down here. The only families that I kept for Willow Creek are the Goths and the Pancakes, and as you can see, some of them aren't home. I believe because the game is when you load into it, I think it's like a midday or whatever, so some people may be at school or work or whatever, or just walking around. Returning households for Willow Creek are the Altos, and I believe that's kind of it. Everybody else is a brand new family. So we've got the Nassar family, the Sakura family, the London family. We have Jefferson and Han. These two are best friends and now roommates. We've got the Rhodes family, father and daughter, the Velasquez family, and then the Williams family. So, for community lots, you've got, this is set as a generic lot type because at the time that I made version 2, we didn't have small businesses yet. But you could totally change this. In fact, I think I am for version 3. I'm going to change this to a small business. And I think I'm going to have Desiree, that's her name. Desiree actually use this small business because she's set up to be kind of like more of like a school teacher. In fact, I think that might be her career. Does it say in here? It doesn't. We'll load into them and we'll take a more detailed look at them. But I think she's currently set up as a teacher, so maybe I'll change that to where she actually owns this daycare over here. And then you have a community pool over here, and you've got a cathedral, which is set as a wedding venue, and then of course your park, and then your downtown area. And I guess let's start with a family. We'll go ahead and start with the Velasquez family. Let's load in. We'll play as who's home? We'll play as Desiree. I'm gonna go ahead and pause because I don't really want the Sims moving around too much while I'm trying to talk to y'all. So let's take a look because I'm pretty sure she's set as a school teacher. Yep, she's a teacher. And this is their home. She's currently upstairs using her son's computer for some reason instead of her office. But you can tell the upstairs is pretty kid-friendly. We've got their daughter's room here. She's a toddler. And then the younger son. And then their teenage son's room. And if we kind of load the walls fully, you can see, I wonder who started a painting. Who was this? You can kind of see like there's some like decor that kind of makes it feel a bit more lived in, you know? I just didn't want it to feel boring and lifeless, but at the same time still be able to like function and load and not lag a whole bunch. So here's their entryway, their living room. Oh, somebody should clean up that food. But here's their living room. I really like all the colors in here. I love it. And then here's, of course, the parents' bedroom with their bathroom, the dining room, and then their kitchen. I think it's a pretty cute home. And then their backyard, they've got a swing set and a place for the family to kind of hang out and grill some hot dogs. I think it's a very cute home. This area in Willow Creek, I really wanted it to feel just like a normal neighborhood. So I can see the houses kind of all look similar. Their roofs are very similar, although they may be different, you know, style, like shingles, like the shingles are different, but the colors are the same. They kind of all flow together very well. And then this house over here that your Sim can move into, I am gonna update it so that there's like a for sale sign out in the front. I think that'll be kind of cool. And then I will have to show you their house because I just really love their house. I think I did a pretty good job at giving them a lot of personality with like the broken down fence and the truck that's kind of on the sidewalk. I feel like that fits their family personality very well versus their neighbors across the street that have a very particular style driveway and their car is parked fully in their driveway. I think that type of storytelling is very important because it makes it feel like a real lived-in world, you know? So let's kind of we'll go to the Rhodes family next and we'll kind of pop into their house so I can show you what it looks like. Here is the Rhodes family home. Who's this? Dante. Okay. He's not, I don't think that he's gonna be part of, he's a teen? How is he a teen? This man looks like he's 35. Anyways, let's get back to what we were doing. So for this family, the Rhodes family, I have Shaban and Clay. Clay is currently late for work. He works as customer support, just a regular retail job. Doesn't really have much motivation in life. If we go to here it is, their family tree, you can see that Maribel Rhodes, who was Clay's wife and Shaban's mother, she passed away. So ever since then, you know, like their storyline is that Clay kind of doesn't really have much more motivation in life. He doesn't really want to find anyone else. He just wants to see his daughter succeed in life, and that's kind of all he cares about. He is a slob. So that's kind of indicated in how their house looks. You know, their plants are kind of overgrown and dead. The fence is falling down. His car is not parked, you know, correctly. It's crooked. And then if we load into their house, his room's messy. You know, he's got clothes on the floor. His bathroom is just kind of a bathroom. Nothing fancy. And then this is Shaban's room. She also has a pile of clothes on the floor. You know, she kind of takes after him in that regard. And if we look at her, she is lazy. She takes after her father a lot. But she has aspirations of becoming a musician. And that makes sense with the posters and the guitar, even her shower and all the music equipment out here. It really shows to who they are as a family. You know, they care more about the arts and having fun and being creative than necessarily, you know, taking care of their house. Here's their living room and the dining room and their kitchen. I really love this kitchen. I love how old it feels. The little eat-in area, and then their backyard is nothing much, just a cooler and some more overgrown, you know, grass and stuff. So I really love this house. I feel like it has a lot of character to it. Let's go check out another family. Alrighty, so here is the Williams family. They are set on the lot that the Roomies used to live in, and if you love the Roomies, they will be back. I have put them into Newcrest. When version 3.0 comes out, you will have the Roomies. They'll just be in Newcrest. But I felt like this lot was so big, it really could use 2 homes. And when building that, I thought if there's going to be 2 homes on the same lot, and I really don't want to use a rental lot here, I want it to be owned by the family. I thought it would make sense if the grandparents lived next door. So the storyline is that this is the older house, and Carlton and Isabel live there, and then their son Devante moved in next door with his wife and his kids. So if you look at their family tree, there's Carlton, and then Devontae is their son, and Kiana is the wife, and they've got 2 beautiful kids and a little dog. They have to have a little dog. Her name is Mimi. So let's look at the grandparents' house first. So I kind of left their house a bit outdated. I wanted it to feel really lived in, and like their grandparents have lived here for a very long time. So they have a little office up here. This is the kids' playroom, because I imagine the grandkids would come over a lot and hang out at Grandma and Grandpa's house and just have a lot of fun. And then this bedroom is just used for storage. I know this bed is the heart-shaped bed, but I really wanted to use it because it really does look like, hey, we have this old bed that used to be Devontae's, and he doesn't live here anymore, and they just kind of moved it into this room, and it's just being used for storage. So ignore the heart. And then if we go downstairs to their living area, their living room is pretty old. It's got older furniture in it. I imagine these are, great grandma, great grandpa. This is like their family tree. They've got a nicer TV because everybody's got flat screen TVs these days. But their furniture is still old. Even their kitchen isn't updated, so they've got white appliances. They've got an old coffee maker. They've got a little eat-in area where they would just sit and have family dinner with when Devontae was a little kid. And then I didn't really know what to do with this little pass-through room, so I thought maybe Isabel does some knitting and she needs a little quiet space, so she'll just sit over here and do some knitting. And then here's their bedroom. And of course, more knitting, glasses on the table. They've got books, do some reading in bed. Very, very grandparent things to do. Here's their bathroom. And then if we go into their backyard, another little area for the family to hang out and have some hot dogs. This area of Willow Creek is supposed to be the lower income, quote unquote, type of area. So I didn't imagine that anyone would have a pool, because those are very expensive to take care of. So no one has a pool. The pool, they would just go use the community pool that I built. So if we go next door to Devontae's house, you can see he's got a bit of a little garden in the front, a minivan, because they're a family. They would have a minivan. And then this used to be the garage over here, which they've converted into a bedroom, because this would have been an older home that they moved into, because while they only have 2 kids right now, maybe they plan on having more, so they needed more room. So they converted the garage downstairs into their bedroom. And then they've got a small little office over here. They've got their living room and their kitchen where they eat in. And looks like Carlton's hanging over at their house watching TV. Maybe their couch is more comfortable. Maybe they do have a nicer TV, so I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Then I figured they would have some family photos up on the wall. And then if we go upstairs, here's their daughter's room. It is kind of big, but again, if they want to have more kids, you could definitely fit another kid in here. And here's their son's room. And again, they're growing. They're having more kids. So maybe once he gets old enough, you can just kind of, if they have another daughter, pop the crib over here into this room. And the kids can just share bedrooms. And there's 2 bathrooms up here. And I thought, I don't know, I kind of gave them some personality. Like, look how cute this little bathroom is with the little kitties. I just thought that was cute. And then for their backyard, they've got a bit more going on. They've got a grill, they've got monkey bars, and then of course, a tree house that they can build for the kids. I think it matches this area pretty well, especially since they have this community garden over here. And I just think it looks really, really nice. All the fences are relatively the same over here, so it kind of matches, and it looks like your typical American neighborhood where all the houses are relatively the same, but they've each got a little bit of personality going on. I figured that would look nice. I also really paid attention to the rest of the world back here because I really wanted it to feel like it fit in. I didn't really want to stray too far. Then the houses just feel like they wouldn't fit in over here. But I think it looks pretty nice. Now, I won't really show you too much else of Willow Creek as far as family goes. If you want to take a longer look at the other neighborhoods and the other families, you're more than welcome to do that on your own time. But I feel like if I did that, this video would be 5 hours long. I do want to showcase a little bit of some of the community lots that I have built. So let's see, let's pop into this lot over here and we'll show you around the downtown of Willow Creek. Now, I really wanted downtown Willow Creek to feel, I don't know, kind of more like lived in, that it had more personality. Again, I really paid attention to the other buildings around the area. So you see like this building here, and then this is the library. They kind of match more of these buildings over here, but then if you look back here, this type of building matches this building and this building. So I think it came together really nice. As far as this lot goes, this first building right here is just an office building. I really didn't do much to it as far as like what your Sims could use it for, but I figured it looked pretty cool. You know, if it's a downtown area, there would be an office. And it doesn't really have much going on inside, but I figured, you know, maybe it's like a post office or something. You've got your motivational posters, a pie chart, a bunch of calendars and stuff. You've got a little break room over here for the employees and a secretary desk. Again, no clue what this would be used for. I didn't put any desks or like computers or anything over here because I know your Sims would just be obsessed and just hang out in this office instead of actually going and like to the coffee shop next door where they're supposed to go to, because this lot is set up as a coffee shop. So it does fully function. It has everything you need for the coffee shop in here, and you can just kind of, you know, use this as it's intended. But if we go upstairs, kind of if you go back here and you go up these stairs right here, there is a record shop. And I thought, you know, with Siobhan living in Willow Creek, she would definitely need a store where she could buy records and maybe get her guitar fixed and stuff. And so here's your record store. And if you wanted to, you could change this into a retail lot or a small business and actually run your small business out of here. For version 3, I will be updating it. Since again, I built this before we had small businesses, I will be updating it so it could function as a small business. I'll be adding like the little sign that they need, the ticket counter and stuff instead of like the retail counter. So yeah, if you really wanted to, you could run that as a small business. Now this building over here, this is the news station. So the roomy household that I showed you, Jefferson and Han, one of them works here at the news station. So you've got your news van outside, and I figured this flag kind of met the vibe. They've got their satellite dish on top, and if we go inside, downstairs you've got a reception desk. Maybe they have some of their articles up here, and then over here, I thought this was neat. There's like little like historical information on Willow Creek, and maybe they've won some awards and stuff for the news station. And there is a bathroom back here. So like, sure, there isn't a bathroom in the coffee shop, but when I'm playing, my Sims don't really stay out, specifically not at a coffee shop, for very long. And if they needed to use the bathroom, they could just pop in here and use this one if they really needed to. But I just didn't feel like it was necessary to add one directly connected to the coffee shop. And then if you go upstairs for the news station, they've got just their offices, and this is where they store their equipment, and you know, the employees have lockers if they need them. Maybe they store old records. Again, no computers, because I don't want your Sims getting obsessed and just hanging out in the news station all day. So yeah, that's this lot. This lot over here, again, this is the library. This is a restaurant over here. And the storyline that I made is that Bob Pancakes and Devante both work here at this restaurant. And then this is a thrift store next door. There's no boba shop here, so it doesn't really function as a thrift store. But if you wanted to, again, you could just turn this into a small business and run an actual thrift store there, maybe, if you wanted to. And you've got basketball back here. And then this lot over here has several small businesses in it. There's a gym in this building. This is a bookshop. This is where the boba tea shop is. There's a cake shop, a laundromat, a flower shop, and then down here there's actually a food stall that I turned into kind of a makeshift restaurant without it actually being it doesn't have to be a restaurant, but it should work. Hopefully, if you download that mod, that I forget what it's called, but it will fill in basically, like, you know, the food stalls and the bartenders and all that kind of stuff for you. If you download that mod, it should work for you just fine. So yeah. In fact, let me kind of show you what it looks like. We'll get into it so you can see the laundromat, because I'm really proud of that. Alrighty, so here's this lot over here. Now, a lot of the upstairs, like the top floors of these buildings, are left empty. I did that on purpose because I didn't want this save file to lag too much. And the more stuff you put into lots, even if you don't go into them yourself, it does create lag. So that's why the upstairs is empty in a lot of these buildings. If you really wanted to, you could have your Sims live here in an apartment downtown, and maybe they work at the laundromat downstairs or something. I think that's one of the great things about the small businesses, is that now you can really have functioning laundromats and stuff. So this is the restaurant I was talking about. It is just the food stall from Jungle Adventures. It's the one that comes with that pack, and I kind of hid it back in here in these walls so that it looked more like a restaurant, and your Sims could come in here and just order some food and hang out here, maybe go to the flower shop next door. And then if you come back here, down this alleyway, there's a hair salon back here. You could turn that into a small business too if you wanted to. Here's the laundromat. I think it's looks pretty much like a real laundromat to me. I don't even want to think about how much all of this is going to catch on fire. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Make sure you clean out your dryers before your Sims use them. And then this is the cake shop next door. And then there's a community garden over here because I thought, if your Sim is running the flower shop, they really need a place where they can come and get their flowers that they need. And then here's the boba shop. Just a very small little shop. A lot of the boba places that I've been to are very small like this. They don't have a lot of seating. In fact, some of them don't even have seating at all. You just come and get your drink and then you leave, basically. So that's kind of what I modeled mine off of. And then there's a bookstore next door. You got your kids' books over here and just some regular books. And then the gym is over here. In the updated version, I have placed the weights and the bikes upstairs. So in version 3, you will get those as well. So it'll look a little different. But it does function as a full gym because it's got all the equipment that they need. And then it does have showers back here and a bathroom right here. So it will function as a gym if you wanted to change the slot type to a gym. Alrighty, so that is Willow Creek. Let's hop in over to Oasis Springs. Now, for Oasis Springs, I really, really wanted to make it both modern, so like mid-century modern kind of style over here, mixed in with more of a mission style. For those of you who don't know, I do live in South Texas, so a lot of the downtown areas where I live are a mixture of more modern buildings and a mission style building. So when doing Oasis Springs, I really wanted to bring that type of feeling into it. I know that it's supposed to be more like Palm Springs, but I don't know. I just feel like this style kind of felt a little better in the world, specifically the park. Let me show you the park. So here is the park for Oasis Springs. I really, really tried my best to make it feel like an old mission that was preserved and then turned into a public park where your Sims can come and hang out. I just think it's turned out so beautiful. I just love all the greenery and stuff and the fountains, and there's a lot to do here in this park. So you've got your food stalls over here with your picnic tables and some swings. This whole area is where your Sims can play card games and symbols. I think is that what it's called? Basically Mahjong. I think it's supposed to be Mahjong. But you got your wishing well. I love putting these in parks because you don't really see them anywhere else, and they're so fun to use. There's an area for your Sims to busk for tips, and then there is even some easels over here so that your Sims could come out here and paint. And there is bathrooms. The bathrooms are over here, and some more swings. And there is chess here. I tried my best to sort of hide all those required items that you need for a park that maybe didn't really fit the vibe too well. Um, yeah, I think it turned out great. I think it's beautiful. As far as the rest of downtown Oasis Springs, you've got yourself a diner. In the updated version for 3.0, this diner will be owned by the Landgrabs. And they also own this lounge over here, even though technically I don't think your Sims can own a lounge. But, if you wanted to, you could change this into a small business. I really, really wouldn't consider it to be a small business. It is definitely a big, big business. I just thought it would be kind of cool to have a lounge area. It's very fancy too, and this is definitely a lot to me that your celebrities would definitely come and hang out and listen to jazz and go on a romantic date. Back here, you do have your library. This is a functional library right here, but it is set as a thrift store and boba tea because this building right here is the thrift store. And then you have a community pool. It is also a gym, so you can do both here. And then we have a vet clinic. I really want this Savefile to feel more inclusive, and I don't want just a vet clinic in Brundleton Bay. It needs to feel like you've got everything connected together. So that's why I was like, well, I'll put a vet clinic because I didn't put one in Oasis Springs, but a lot of people have pets, so we need a vet clinic in this version. And I named it Tuna Maria. Now my dog's name is Luna, and her nickname is Tuna, and her middle name is Marie, but I thought Tuna Maria, that just kind of rolls off the tongue, so I named this vet clinic after my dog. I thought that was kind of cute. You've also got a rec center over here. Again, just trying to be more inclusive of the different lot types that we have to give more variety to everything. As far as like the households, you've got some returning players. You've got the Curious family. The Calientes live over here. I did keep Katrina. It is kind of controversial. I know when a lot of people remake the Calientes, they get rid of Katrina altogether. But I kind of agree with the theory that in this version of The Sims, Katrina is really Nina. And so this is actually Katrina. That's Dina. That's Nina. And then this version of Nina is a clone and not really actually Nina. There's a whole video that Gons did, kind of explaining this theory about the Calientes, and I kind of agree with it. So that's kind of why I kept her. And then over here, some of you may recognize this family. This is the Roth family. They are, kind of a different version of the Goths, so they're like the opposite. So like Morty instead of Mortimer, we have Stella instead of Bella, Sandra is Cassandra, and then Xander for Alexander. They are Sims 2 family, if you didn't know about them, but yeah, that's who they are. And then here's Dawn over here. I did think it felt a little weird that they put Dawn living with the Calientes. I just didn't like that. So I pulled him out. He lives on his own. The only woman in his life that he truly loves is his dog, Daisy. I feel like he's the type of guy that is a player, he's not committal. That's just how Dawn is. The only true love of his life would be his little doggy. And then we've got some other returning Sims here. We have the newbie households, and along with the newbies, you know who comes along with that? The Broke family. So I made the Brokes before Adventure Awaits was even announced. So I had no idea that they were going to be bringing Skip into it. So I'm thinking for version 3, maybe I might change this relationships so that Skip isn't there and maybe he's missing. I thought about doing that for Bella too, but like, I don't know. Maybe we'll get into it a little later. Just for now, I at least wanted them to be in their home. Brandy's not even pregnant yet. So in The Sims 2, when you load into her household, she's pregnant already, and Skip is missing, presumed dead. And people always think that Brandy did it, but now we know with Adventure Awaits, Skip is alive and well, and he's in Gibby Point. So yeah, I'll have to update that soon. You've got Johnny Zest over here. I did update his family tree so that he is actually related to the land grabs. I know that recently EA did that. They updated family trees for a lot of people with the royalty and legacy pack that came out. But I went ahead and did it here myself before they did that. So yeah, I really try to pay attention to like what makes sense for the world and make sure everybody's linked together. And then for some new households in Oasis Springs, they're kind of all over here in this apartment complex. Now, I do know a lot of people do not like the rental system, that it's super buggy. They don't like to play with it, and that's totally fine. Now, you do not have to play with this lot. All of the Sims and all of the lots, like apartments here, are filled in. We already have an owner set up for it as well. It's this family right here, the Burns. So they own this apartment complex and live in it. But it's mostly filled with a bunch of single young adults, just to kind of populate the world a little more, so that, you know, when you log into the Savefile and you want to play with your Sim, you've got maybe some options to date other than just, you know, Don Lothario. As far as community lots, that I'd like to show here besides the park, because I know we saw the park earlier. I don't know, maybe let's look at this gas station, because I'm kind of proud of this gas station. So here's the gas station. It's right next to Don Lothario's house. And as you can see, there's a couple of cars in people's driveways. I really tried to make it feel very intentional. Even the apartment complex, it has kind of more of a mid-century modern type of feel, so that it fits into the world a bit more. I saw a picture on Pinterest of an apartment complex, and I was like, oh, it's just so beautiful. I have to try and recreate it, and that's what it turned into. But for the gas station, it is set up as a generic lot type, but you could turn this into, again, a small business or a retail shop if you really wanted to. There is 2 food stalls and plenty of area for your Sims to sit and have a bite to eat if they want. And then inside, there's the restrooms, and I kind of filled it with like souvenirs and trinkets. I know these are supposed to be like for San Myshuno and Willow Creek, but I didn't really have a lot of options, if I'm being quite honest. There's not a lot of stuff that like screams Oasis Springs to me. So we had to use these guys. So I thought it looked kind of cool. You could, you know, most gas stations have like little trinkets and stuff that you can buy. Again, I didn't want to clutter it too much, because that'll like create too much lag. So not too much, but I think it fits in really well over here in this neighborhood. I really like the style of it. I don't know, I just think it looks so nice. Like, look at this. This looks like a real world gas station. I I just love it. I just love it. Let's look at Magnolia Promenade. Promenade? Who knows? Either way, let's look at these lots next. So, for this world, again, there's not a whole lot to do here because you only have 4 lots, but I made a bunch of small businesses over here. There's like an electronic shop, a furniture shop, a kids toy store, but it is set up as a bubble tea and thrift store, so that does work. There's also a coffee shop, so if you wanted to change this to a coffee shop, it will function. There's an Italian restaurant over here, and it is set up fully to be like a real Italian restaurant. There is an option back here where if you wanted to, you could change this to like a rental, or if you wanted to, you could live above it. And then there's a spa over here. And then this is called Family Fun Times. Now, it is set up as a bar, but it is a bowling alley, like a bowling place. And there's a skate rink up top. So, let's look at this spa first, and then we'll look at Family Fun Times next. Because I love the spa. It's so beautiful. Here is our spa. I feel like it really gives off the vibe of maybe like a Mediterranean style type of spa. I just think it's so gorgeous. I love making community lots. I don't know about you guys, but I just think they're so fun. And if when they walk in, they've got a bar here where they can get, different types of agua fresca. There's the little gym here, some workout equipment. There is a sauna. Here's a place where you can get some massages. And then in this area, there's a tree growing inside the building. I thought that kind of gave some interesting architecture and stuff. You've got your lockers over here that you'll need. And if we go upstairs, there's the yoga room. There's some showers. You could get massages over here. And then there's a bath. So you could do like a mud bath in here if you really wanted to. Yeah. I just think it's gorgeous. I wish this place was real, because I would definitely want to come to this place. It'd probably be super expensive. I don't know if I could afford it. But yeah, there's the spa. I bet you Nancy Landgrab likes to come here a lot. Okay, so here is Family Fun Times. It's got more of a mid-century modern type of feel. I feel like that style fits the bowling pack the best. Very kind of 70s color scheme as well. I did get inspiration from a real life building. I like to use Pinterest to get inspiration for buildings, just so I don't build the same thing over and over. I tried to give every different type of building something unique so that they don't feel too similar. So when you walk in, you've got bathrooms on either side. You've got areas where your Sims can sit and maybe have some snacks. There's the bar over here. And then you can get your shoes and your bowling balls over here. There is a place like for a big TV and some music. So if you wanted to, your Sims could dance over here if they wanted. But then here's your bowling lanes. I did add these little TVs here, so it looks like, that would be where your Sims would like keep score and stuff. They don't function that way. They are just TVs, but I figured it was kind of a nice little ad. I feel like it makes it look more realistic. So yeah, there's the bowling area, and then if you go upstairs, there is an arcade kind of area over here. There's more seating around here. You've got bathrooms up here as well. And then a skate rink. I feel like it fits the vibe, especially like this little like logo design right here really fits the vibe of this place. So yeah, your Sims could come here and skate. I feel like this is like where the teens all go to hang out on Friday night or Saturday night, and they come and skate and play video games and just have a lot of fun. That's why I named it Family Fun Times. Alright, so the next world that I'll show you is San Myshuno. This is going to be the last world that's available in 2.0. Every other world will be blank, with the exception of Gibi Point and what's the new world? The new one that came with the Royalty and Legacy pack. And then like Journey to Batu, that world, because I don't have that world. The reason for that is this version of this save file was done before those packs were released, and I just don't have Batu. I'm not going to get it. I'm just not going to. So for San Myshuno, you've got every kind of different area you could think of. Stargazer Lounge, I changed it from a lounge to a bar. I added a pool and some hot tubs and stuff. I wanted more younger Sims to hang out here. Lounges tend to attract an older audience. From what I found out, that's kind of how they're set up to work in The Sims. So I changed it to a bar so that your young adults would come hang out there as well. You've got Sky Fitness here. You've got Planet Honey Pop is still a karaoke spot, but there's a ramen noodle restaurant next door, so we'll show you that. There's Trendy Tower. It is set up as a bar, but there's some other businesses in here, so I'll show you that as well, because I feel like it turned out really well. I know most people like to have their Sims live here in a penthouse, but I feel like we needed more community lots. So I made it more community. And then you have Club Delirium, which is a nightclub, and then this is a pizza restaurant, and there's an internet cafe here as well, so maybe we'll pop into there. I just really enjoy the community lots in San Myshuno. I think I did a really good job. Not to toot my own horn, but I think I did a good job. We still have the art center over here, and then the park as well. So as far as the Sims that you have, pretty much everyone that was originally part of the world is here. They are just given makeovers, and their apartments are a lot better. And then we have some newer Sims as well. So one of the newer households is the Meshuggah family. If you don't know them, they are from The Sims 2, so they are not brand new, but they are new to The Sims 4. We've got some roommates over here, and then another set of roommates. Now, what's funny is one of these Sims here, you might recognize his name a little bit, Esteban Julio de la Rosa. I could not fit the entire name. It was way too long, but if you know, you know. For the Jasmine Suites, I kept this this apartment empty, so if you want to make Sims and move in, it's ready to go for you. You've got your kitchen already set up. I don't think the bathrooms have any furniture, but I did put the kitchen here, so at least you knew where you could have your kitchen set up and that layout. The Beta family is still here. I did give them a little bit of a makeover, and I redid their apartment, just so they had room, because I believe she's already pregnant. I believe that's already set up that way. You've got your the Yang family is still here. This apartment is empty, so if you want to move into it, more than welcome to put your Sims in there. And then you've got a new couple over here. They are like a supposed to be like a brand new couple, just got together. This is like the boyfriend's apartment, and she just kind of moved in, so it's very masculine style apartment. You've got the Cho family here. If you recognize this family, that is because they are also, I believe, from The Sims 2. So we have Vivian and S2, and then S2's dad lives, I think he lives over here. Where does he live? Maybe he lives over here. He is in here somewhere. We'll find him eventually. But yeah, her dad lives in San Myshuno as well, just not with her mom. There's some drama that happened between them. We've got a new couple over here, the Martinez household, Kevin and Dominic. They are married and they live in this penthouse, I guess, style. I hate to call it a penthouse, but that's basically what it is. They live over here. In the land grab apartments, you still have the Fang family. They live in the land grab apartments with no one next door. So if you want, it is ready for you to move in. The Alto apartments, we still have Diego, and I gave him 2 roommates. So he's got Daniel and Megan that have moved in with him. Megan, I've given her a bit of a backstory. She's moved here from Windenburg, and Daniel is from Tomarang. So I've already, for version 3, I've already kind of completed Windenburg. So you'll be able to meet her family once version 3.0 comes out. But they have this apartment here. I figured he had such a big place, he really needed roommates, because it just didn't make sense without it. And then the next door apartment is empty, so if you want to move in there, totally good to go. The Spire apartment is 4 roommates, and they are called queer besties because they are all queer. So it's Allie, Michelle, Miracle, and Joe, and they live in this apartment together. So there's 2 bedrooms up here with an office. This is the living area. It's an open concept. And then the other 2 bedrooms down here. And then I think there's a music room. And like one of them is into the crystal creation stuff. So that stuff's in there as well. So there's a new household there. And then over here, you've got Penny Pizzazz. Just gave her a makeover and did over her apartment. Over here is a father and son duo. Their mother has recently passed, so the dad's kind of a little sad. And then over here, there's S2's dad. His name is Eric. Yep, his ex-girlfriend Vivian kicked him out. Yep, and if you'll see, his apartment is not the best. So he doesn't really have a bedroom for S2. So when she comes over, she has to sleep on the couch. He's got a little corner where some of her toys are, but other than that, he doesn't have a whole lot of room for her. Maybe he'll get his shit together. Who knows? For the Zenview apartments, you still have the Karaoke Legends. Just gave them a makeover, as well as their apartment. They've got, better bedrooms for them. And then next door, they have a family that lives next door, the Humphreys. And this is their apartment over here. So those are all of the households in San Myshuno. So let's look at a few community lots. Why don't we start with let's start with the club. Okay, here is Club Delirium. It is very unassuming outside. I wanted it to fit in with this neighborhood over here. So just kind of unassuming building on the outside. And if we go in, here's the club. I gave it a purple theme. I figured that kind of fit the vibe. I know these are for kids, these butterflies, but I kind of like it. It kind of gives it a mystical, magical feeling, especially with these plants right here. So you've got your bar, your DJ booth. The dance floor is sunken into the floor. And you've got more seating. And then you've got the bathrooms over here. And then this is sort of the back entrance. You've got a dumpster. There is a recycle machine here because you always need more places where Sims can do more activities and stuff. So I figured the recycle bin would be perfect. And then there's a little market back here. So if you wanted to, your Sims could come here and sell stuff. And I just feel like it fit the world really well. Alright, let's kind of load into Pizza Paradise and show you this building as well. Now, it is set up as a restaurant, but if you really wanted to, you don't have to run it as a restaurant. I wanted it to feel like kind of an old subway station, something of that nature, maybe an old firehouse or something. Just kind of an older building that was renovated and made into something else. So you've got your sign that says, hey, the pizza restaurant is around the back. So if you change over to this side, there's the restaurant. It is an outdoor seating area, but it does fully function. You've got your tables and your host stand, the waiter station. But I figured this view is probably better, you know, when you're eating. Maybe you've got a better view of the bridge. I don't know, I just thought it was kind of nice. So if we go inside, this is really it for the kitchen. And then there's bathrooms over here. And there's more bathrooms here. So like this is like the public bathroom. And this is for like the employees. And then I didn't know what to do over here. So I just installed like an art piece and thought, well, maybe it has some historical significance to the building or something. Who knows? And then if you go upstairs, this is where the internet cafe is. So you've got all your computers, you've got some seating, and you can grab a coffee and play video games all night if you want. I really, really love how this turned out. All right, let's load into Trinity Tower. And then we'll look at the karaoke place next. So this building has a bunch of different businesses in here. I really thought about the types of businesses you would find in like New York City. A lot of them are not businesses that are available to you like out on the street. You have to go into the tower and go up several flights of stairs. So that's what this is. There is an office over here. There is computers. This time I did add the computers. You could easily take those out. There's a TV over here as well. You could easily take those out if your Sims become too obsessed with them. And then there's a kind of more of a nail salon than a spa. And then, but you can still get massages over here. And then here's a restaurant. It's more of a fancy styled restaurant. And it's got an outdoor bar area. I figured that was really nice. And then what I'm really proud of is this venue. This is a comedy club. I figured Johnny Zest needs a place to perform. And here you are. This is your comedy club over here. Bunch of curtains to block out all the light. I don't know. I think it turned out really nice. I love it. There's the restaurant. See how fancy it feels with this art piece here? I think it's a cool building. You've got your spa, nail salon, and then an office. Now, the next place is going to be Planet Honey Pop. Let's load in there. Now, while it is currently set up as a restaurant, again, you could easily just change it over to a karaoke spot if you want to. The reason I left it as a restaurant is because it has a pre-filled, every restaurant I do has this. It'll have a custom menu and then custom outfits for all of the employees so that they make sense to the building. So that's why if I make something that has a restaurant in it, I will keep it as that. So that way it's already set up for you. And then if you decide you want to, you can just change it to whatever other lot type you want. But here's the whole building. I love the colors. I really feel like they fit the neighborhood here with all the purple. And then, of course, because there's other high-rise buildings, there's a lot of blue. So I feel like it fit in really well. And then if we go in, so this is the restaurant side of it. It's a ramen noodle shop, so it's not too fancy. You really just come here if you just want some noodles after, you know, a late night of singing karaoke. So here's your karaoke bar. You've got the bar here and a bunch of seating, a lounge area, and then your performance area. I felt like this was really neat. The decor up here, I thought that was kind of pretty. And then if you go upstairs, you have your private karaoke rooms. And each room has the same decor pretty much, but just different colors. And then you have your bathrooms up here. So there's your karaoke spot. And then of course the rest of the building is just empty so that it doesn't lag as much. So yeah, that's the area. And then I think for the last place I'll show you my Shuno Meadows. Let's take a look at the park. So here is my Shuno Meadows. I really took inspiration from a lot of parks in New York City, especially with this building. I really wanted it to feel more like a greenhouse. And there's lots of areas for your Sims to walk, and they could take their dogs here. There's lots of picnic spots, lots of spots for painting. I tried to think, like, even if you come here and you want to paint, you could do like what's the option where you can capture like a still life or something. I try to pick areas that were beautiful for your Sims to capture. And then there's like a little garden walk. You can come walk through here. There's a fountain in the middle. Here's the well. And then you walk through and you can kind of go through the back of the greenhouse. And there's a wedding area back here, because I always love having different options for wedding areas for your Sims. So while you've got like the cathedral, which is a wedding venue in Willow Creek, this place is an outdoor spot. So if you want an outdoor wedding, you could come here. And it's got everything you need. And even a cute little area. Your Sims could take photos there. And then if we go inside the building, there's more stuff. You could do an indoor area for the wedding. You've got a bar and a dance area, some bathrooms. Upstairs is the kitchen, because you do need a kitchen. In order for a wedding venue to work, you have to have a full kitchen. So the kitchen's up here. So there's that building. And then over here on this side, this is like an outdoor kind of coffee cafe area. There's a lot of these kind of places in New York City where there's like vendors that sell food and drinks and stuff in the parks. So I feel like it felt very, very well in this area over here, and the colors all kind of match with like the building and stuff. So I thought it turned out really, really nice. It's a beautiful park. I love it. It's gorgeous. Alright, so that is the Savefile tour for version 2.0 of my Forever Savefile. I hope to have version 3 completed within the next month or so, so keep an eye out. Follow me on Tumblr if you want to get real-time updates on what I'm working on. Sometimes I will stream here on YouTube. I've done it twice, but I'm not a big popular creator, so it's usually just me sitting there talking to myself, which is kind of no fun. My friend did join me in my last live, so that was fun. So maybe I'll do that a little bit more if more people are interested in hanging out and playing The Sims with me. I still have a lot of tweaking to do. Again, this is my first YouTube video. I don't have fancy equipment. I'm just using the microphone that's with my headset. And so I apologize for any awkwardness, some bad audio. I'm just working with what I got. But I hope you enjoyed your time. I will hopefully see you in my next video with the version 3.0. Maybe if I am up to it, maybe I'll film a little let's play or a legacy challenge or something like that. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, and thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions, or if you're excited for version 3.0, let me know what you're excited for. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.